I finally finished War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, and now I'm just guessing that many of you are wondering, did Øystein like these books and was it all worth it? To the first question, a hard no, and to the second one, we'll discuss that in this video. So why did I decide on reading this one right now? Well, we're nearing the end of this year and I was considering just giving this one away because it has been standing behind me for quite some time and I thought either I should just read it or get rid of it, and I decided on the first thing, so that's why it happened. Also, I read Anna Karenina earlier this year, and I found that to be quite an easy read compared to what I thought it would be, and thus I just went for it. I've also read Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment and The Brothers Karamazov, so since I've given him 2 shots at this, I thought I'd do the same with Tolstoy. The reason why I've waited reading War and Peace is because of all the names, and it was truly a nightmare getting through these. So the first one is all about trying to remember who is who, and so if you've read Russian literature from before, you know that the same one person can have like a ton of names, and this is no different, and I just struggle a lot, and this was truly a pain. I know that I am not in general good with names, so many of you might be better at it than I am. I would suggest just taking your time reading the beginning. I tried slowing down, I tried remembering the names, but after a while I just gave it up and I thought, I will recover later. I sort of did, but also sort of not. I'm sure if I read it all over again, I would have a better idea of who did what. But still, I slowly read the beginning of the novel. I sat with a map of the people, but try Googling the map of the people in this novel. It's too much. I'm guessing that some people out there find great pleasure in reading novels with a lot of names and that are complicated family-wise, but I'm not one of those. Since my copy of this book is split into 3, I also have sort of a feeling of having read 3 books about the same theme. So in the first one, I felt like I was just trying to pinpoint person to person who is who, what is actually happening, what is all this going to become. So the first one is pretty much just, you start off in this landscape of balls and high society living and important people talking to each other. Then it's just war, and it's not war in the sense that you like feel compassion with a person going to war. It's just war is a thing all over the place. You have no idea where you are. To me, the landscape of war was not something I could put my finger on. It's just war happening. It's messy, and I think that sums it up for me because I found the first third to be just messy and I couldn't wrap my head around it. Then it's the second one, and here we have people coming home from war and sort of just back in business. I have a small relationship towards a couple of the characters by now, and it's like that when you have a novel full of characters, you sort of try to grab onto the people that you feel like you know a little bit, and you hope that they're important to the story so they can lead you somewhere together, so you feel like you have some sort of relationship with the book. And that was what the second book was for me. This is by far, like the middle section of this whole thing is by far my favorite. I didn't love that either, but at least there was some character development going on that I truly enjoyed, and I felt like I just understood this one a bit. Going into the third one, we have even more war, but at least now I have like 2 characters I care a little bit about, and that makes a big difference, even though this still wasn't a read that I thought was great. When these books were written, French was really important to the Russian nobility for some unknown reason, or unknown to me. I couldn't really understand it, and thus a lot of French text is pushed into these books. And I truly don't understand why I'm supposed to read French. I don't read French, so it's a waste of time. I'm skipping over the French part, reading the translation down below. Why write more than you absolutely have to? It's still a lot of pages, even without the French. So if you have a good explanation, please comment below. I understand if you have like a couple of French words in between, just to make us remember that French was important to them, I guess. But other than that, just cut it out. You could produce a crazy expensive version with French written in it, and some people would buy it, so maybe that's a business idea. Just keep the other people out of it. Or just me, I guess. I'm guessing that if you're considering picking this one up, size might be a consideration. And if I were to be mean, I would say that this one didn't, if you just did this, it would be a lot better. So the first book, it's name dropping and nothing really happened. Or at least that's how I feel. Also, there are a lot of blank spaces in between. There are so many times where I thought, this is a wasted chapter, or now the last 100 pages I could have avoided, especially one hunting trip. I think it's 4 chapters with a hunting trip, and after I read it, I really tried to think, is there something here I should be remembering? Is there anything about the characters, any character development? Did they show a different side of them that I can bring with me to the next chapter? And I concluded no. So it's too long. I'm guessing that you all thought I'd say that, but it truly is too long. Or at least to me. I thought I'd try to stay a little bit positive as well. And as always, the first thing that comes to mind is how much I enjoy reading about people from earlier days. So people don't really change, and this is just a testament to that. If your child dies, you'll be sad. If you're going to war, you'll be sad. Welcome to Psychology 101. We don't really change. We're all the same, so truly on a baseline level, I guess. And I don't know why that makes me kind of happy. Maybe just because when reading this, you'll find something relatable at least. Because I didn't really find that much enjoyment in this, but at least I could relate to stuff. The second thing I enjoyed is towards the end, when Tolstoy actually reflects himself about Napoleon, the war, and just how things could have gone. I enjoy intellectuals discussing their own thoughts in general, but the thing I thought from the beginning and until the end was, would I rather have preferred a non-fiction about the Napoleon Wars than reading War and Peace? Absolutely. Because this is fiction, and it's mixed towards the end, or you might say that the whole thing is kind of non-fiction fiction, but then I would rather have just read the real deal, because the story wasn't all that great. Or was there a story at all? Or was it just a bunch of names? I can't decide. Or as you might have figured, I have decided. There were just a lot of names and some wars, and that's basically it. I truly despise this read, and I do think that I can say for sure that I will never ever pick this one up ever again. Was it worth reading this one? That's the stupid question, but I would say that I find joy in having read it, so I can tell my friends to not read it unless they're very interested in it. Also, I've learned a lot about the Napoleon Wars, so sort of gotten a refresh on that, but spending this many hours reading stuff about the Napoleon Wars, I could have gotten the same knowledge about these wars by reading 1 hour on Wikipedia or in a factual book, I guess. So in that sense, it's difficult to tell. Since I didn't like this one at all, I'm now going to stop trash talking it, but at least now you know that someone on the internet didn't like War and Peace, and that's something. If you really liked it, please comment below and tell me why you did like it. If you're going to tell me in the comments that I didn't understand it, you can do that, because that will probably help my algorithm, but I won't care as much, just so you know. But thank you for watching this video anyway, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.